I am your host, Carrie Scollon, giving us different perspectives on where we are and where we want to go on our journey. Thanks for being here, and I look forward to spending some time with you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another session of the Founder Series. I am your host, Carrie Scollon, thrilled again to be here and have another incredible guest that I'm looking forward to sharing with you. She is an acupuncturist, that's a big word for me to say, and a wellness advocate who has so much valuable information to share. We are very similar in that way that we have something that we learn, we want to share, we want to get it out to the world, because if there's anything that we can do to help somebody, this is what we're here for. So Doreen, welcome. Thank you for being here. If you would like to introduce yourself a little bit more of what your background is, I would love to hear all about it. So thank you and welcome.
Thank you, Carrie. I am so excited to be here today. Truly, I am. And, I have had the privilege to know Carrie for a couple of years now, but I have been a longtime acupuncturist. I've been practicing for 20 years. Actually, I had a clinic in New Westminster on the mainland. And 3 years ago, my husband and I moved to Nanaimo on Vancouver Island. So I realized that I wasn't done yet. I wasn't ready to stop. And so I've relaunched my business here on the island. And I just love sharing. I read, I read all the books. I want to share the information that I've discovered. And I think that it's my duty that if I learn something that you might find helpful, then it's my job to share it.
Yeah, I love that. I think we're, like I said, we're so similar in that. And I know so many women that are like that. If we find something that works for us, or we've learned something new that we think can make a difference, it's like, oh my gosh, how do we get this out to people? So exactly. I know that's what you're about as well. And I love the collaboration, and I hope we do a lot more of this. So when we first talked about you coming on as a guest, you told me a little story about the barbecue and hot flashes and all the juicy stuff in between. So do you mind just kind of
absolutely
bringing us along on that one?
So again, that's just women talking to women. After, we all go to a barbecue, you hug and you greet each other. It's been a while since we've seen each other. You sit down, and within 5 minutes, the women are talking about their hot flashes, and they're talking about their insomnia, and how uncomfortable it is and how irritable they are. And just, maybe they're not sleeping well, and maybe they're tired. And part of it is, they're tired because they're go, but they're also not sleeping well. And, they're waking up at 3 a.m, which is typically when we have our hot flashes. It comes on at 3 a.m, and that's just showing an imbalance in the body. Mm-hmm. And it's showing what meridians in Chinese medicine and what organs are imbalanced. Yeah. So, we're trying to do it all. We're trying to, do the job, run the house, be with the kids, or maybe it's the grandkids, or maybe we're looking after our parents. Yeah. We're stuck in the middle. We're the ones that are holding the stress from, just COVID and family. We're keeping our families together, and that's a lot of pressure for women. So,
it is.
It is.
And I was going to say, we talked about sometimes stress is one of a huge factor behind menopause as well, right? That's something that is out there for sure. We've all heard of that. And a lot of people don't think that they're stressed because they're managing it, but there's still stress inside our bodies that we may not be aware of. So even though we're managing all of this and juggling everything, it's our bodies that are from the inside out are going, hey, look at me, I need some help here. And that's where the stresses come out, the hot flashes, the irritability. Like there's so much more going on when it comes to menopause than we realize. And I think that's what you've taken a really good look at the insides and what we can do to help some of that, right? We may not be able to eliminate our stress overnight, but we can start to implement some things that can be really helpful.
Absolutely.
So I love that. There's a lot, like you talked about the irritability, but there's weight gain, there's thinning of the hair, there's, oh my gosh, there's joint pain, which I did not know was related to menopause. And so, yeah, take us through what's your understanding of what our body's going through at this time?
Well, and I guess I really just, before I do that, Carrie, I really want to just say, our bodies, women's bodies, are so much more intricate and so much more finely tuned, and are so much like, we do amazing things. We create humans in our body. Like, our bodies are so much more complicated than a man's body.
Right.
And we should honor that.
Yeah.
Like, really don't, go, oh, I got my period again. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I know a lot of women have problems with their cycle as well. And acupuncture really can help that in so quickly. But, and even the menopause, like, acupuncture can be so helpful. And there's also other tools that we can use. So, let's honor who we are. Like, we're magnificent women. Let's embrace our body's ability to be fantastic and its greatness. Really,
totally.
we are.
Totally.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a quick question though about acupuncture itself? Because I don't totally know what that is. All I know is that there's little tiny needles, and I don't even know what is happening when you're doing that. I know that it provides a lot of relief for a lot of people. But can you tell me what it is? Is it going I don't even really know what it is. What's it actually doing?
So basically, over the millennial, over the hundreds of thousands of years, the Chinese or the Asians, and I want to be very respectful, but Chinese medicine has been passed down through the ages from, the master to this, the up and coming future master. Mm-hmm. So they looked at, signs and symptoms that appeared in nature. On a windy, cold, damp, rainy day, we have aches and pains in our bodies. Right. And it's, the pain may go from joint to joint. It may be a heavy pain. It may be a stabbing pain. Well, all those different signs and symptoms correspond with possibly what's going on in the environment. So cold, damp, rainy days often cause arthritic pain in people. And they'll go, oh, it's my hip. And then, oh my gosh, it's my knee. And my neck is killing me. And now it's the other hip. Well, wind moves from place to place. Right. Dampness has a feeling of heaviness. Right. So pain that goes from here to here to here, joints in the body, that's heavy and sort of sluggish feeling. Well, we call that damp. Wind damp syndrome, which can be part of the syndromes where we categorize for arthritis, for example. Okay. Fibromyalgia and those kinds of heavy damp feelings in the body. Okay. So acupuncture, so stepping back, there's a meridian system. It's like the cellular towers where, you're close to this cellular tower and you're calling, a big city somewhere, and it's that cellular tower repeats to this tower that repeats to the following tower. So acupuncture points are the same. There's multiple points along a pathway for a meridian. So each organ, heart, liver, kidney, large intestine, all of the organs of our body have its own meridian, and the pathways start or end on the ends of the fingers or the toes. Okay. And then the pathway, follows its route and actually connects to the organ that it's responsible for, and then carries on its way. So that's how you can put, a point in the inner ankle and have it treat the kidneys. It's good for diabetes, for example.
Yeah.
Because the kidneys are related to diabetes. And the kidney meridian is on the inside of the inner ankle. Wow. So then it travels up the inner leg, actually passes through the kidney organ, and then travels up to the upper chest where it ends.
So
that's fascinating.
Yeah, it is. So you're helping everything just work in better unison.
Exactly.
You're making sure that everything's flowing and everything's working how it's supposed to be working. Because like you said earlier, our bodies are like just so fascinating when you take a look at what we can actually do, what we've done, what our bodies are capable of, how we reproduce, just our skin and the cell. Like, I mean, we can go into a million different ways with that, but the acupuncture is so it's touching the points to make sure that that everything is flowing. That's a very simplistic. I'm making this very simple. I know there's a lot more involved in that, but
that's right.
The pressure points, and that's what the little needle goes in. That's the pressure points that you're okay.
And those points have been well researched and like so much, watching for signs and symptoms. There's two things. One, often the points are located either between muscles, beside a bone, at a joint, or it could be, where muscles parallel and maybe cross. So it's at those locations where the pooling or the collecting of energy resides. Right. Also, when we do acupuncture, we're actually tapping into the fascia. So fascia is our connective tissue, and fascia is everywhere. And that's how, again, too, I can put a point in on the inner ankle and have it, manifest with changes in the body somewhere else. It's because the stimulation of energy on the fascia or the connective tissue creates a wave-like motion and travels through the whole body.
So, and you use this to help, in lots of different ways. What we're talking about today is menopausal women.
Yes.
You can help them relieve some of these symptoms, it's just, it's fascinating to me. I think I love these shows because I learned so much from speakers like you that come on, and what you're offering is just another alternative, right? It's another option. It's something to take a look at. If you've got some of these symptoms, that there's another way that you may be able to help and to relieve some of the symptoms. And just, again, it's almost like just getting a bit more of an understanding of how our body works when you can show us that. So that you talked about, let me see here. Oh gosh, you were talking about the yin and is that yin and the yang? Is that, can you tell us a little bit about that? Is it
absolutely really? So in Chinese medicine, menopause is seen as a natural occurrence. Our body is supposed to go through that. Yeah. So, and when we have symptoms that could be slight, maybe once a week or every couple of weeks, you wake up, maybe you have a hot flash 1 or 2 times a day, and that's it. Yeah. I also know other women who wake up, they're awake for a couple hours each night. Their sheets are soaked. Yeah. They get dressed. They're in meetings, and all of a sudden their face is beet red. They're feeling uncomfortable. They're hot. They're sweaty. They're trying to, wipe their brow because the sweat is dripping off their nose. Like, I know women like that too. And that is showing the imbalance in the body. And it's what we call yin. So there's yin and yang, and that's the balance. Right. Yin and yang make a balance in the body. So in the Tai Chi symbol, the yin is the dark, the black one, and yang is the lighter one. So And yin is a type of fluid that's in our bodies. So it's the deep inner intra and intercellular fluids of the body. So it's the deep fluids of our body. And estrogen would belong to what we consider a yin fluid. Okay. So, we lose yin fluids through stress, overworking, not sleeping well, to childbirth, like that taxes our body big time. So, maybe we're not drinking enough water. Maybe we're drinking the water, but our body isn't absorbing it. So and maybe we're eating a lot of hot, spicy foods. And those hot, spicy foods are going to absorb or consume the coolant of the yin fluids. So if you think about, the body being like a car, we have the radiator that has the fluid, the cooling fluid in the radiator, and that cools the engine. So if the rad is low on fluids, it doesn't have enough coolant to cool down the hot engine. So it runs hot. Right. So yin deficiency is what causes hot flashes in the body. So we don't have enough coolant. So what that, yin deficiency is what we call deficient heat, which means we have the full heat, like the hot running engine of the car, but we don't have enough coolant to calm it down and balance it out. So it's running hot from a deficiency perspective because there's not enough fluid in the rad.
Right. So that's what this is about, bringing it back into.
Exactly. So it could do its acupuncture. Acupuncture can bring those fluids back into alignment, but also we have tools at our disposal that we can use. So we can use cooling foods. Right. So one is drink enough water. Make sure you drink enough water so the body is able to flush, get rid of those toxins out of the body, get rid of that heat. And heat in the body could also be looked at as our body is acidic. Okay. So it's another way to look at, well, what does heat mean? Well, it's maybe we're a little too acidic. So
I didn't know that was acidic too. Okay. Can I ask you quickly about the water?
Yes.
We talked about, or I've talked about before, I'm not a huge water drinker, which I'm trying to change. I especially don't like cold water or ice in my water, but I've heard different things about your water being cold as opposed to being warm when you put it in your body.
Yes.
What's the truth? Can you tell me what that is? I just got to get that clear.
Yeah. So, cold water, when we swallow it, so now there's cold water obviously in our stomach, and our stomach has to warm up that fluid before it can utilize it. So what that causes is we're wasting some digestive function. So, people will say, oh, well, if you want to, you can always drink ice cold water before your meal because that will help you lose weight because you're using calories to warm up your fluids. That's true. But those calories are actually digestive function, and we need that function to break down the food, not warm up water. Right. Okay. So, and I'm not saying you can't ever have cold water again. Cold water is quite refreshing, especially with a little bit of lemon, to help you help it taste a little better, right? Yeah. But we don't want to have that all the time. And especially, like I like having my smoothies in the morning, and I'll use a little bit of frozen banana and maybe a little bit of frozen berries or whatever. And so that's a cold drink first thing in the morning, which impairs the digestive fire. However, I always add in a slice of ginger because fresh ginger protects the stomach. And it also, as a function that is actually a herbal remedy for digestive upset, is using ginger So it protects the stomach, it helps warm the stomach,
Yeah.
and it counterbalances all of the cold in the smoothie.
Okay. So that's a good one too. Or a cup of herbal tea along with that, something with the ginger in it. I already see we've got only 10 minutes left.
Oh
So
my
we
goodness.
are going to, I know that we've got so much that we want to cover. So you touched on the spicy foods, replacing those with some cooler food. I also like you talked about the spicy and replacing it with like basil and mint, and just those are more cooling foods. You can feel it when you eat them. So I wanted to get that out there. And also
salads are also really great.
Salads
are great, but don't just eat salads. Eat some root vegetables, slightly sauteed, stir fry veggies are wonderful. It's all about balance, really. It's all about balance. So, the root veggies, the beans, the melons, lots of veggies are more alkaline, which helps counteract the acidic or the heat in the body.
Right. So much of what we're talking about goes back to the balance in the body and being aware 100%. When your body is out of balance. Now, the other main thing that we wanted to make sure that we talked about today was the amount of collagen that decreases as we age.
Yes.
And please, can you spend the rest of the time helping us understand and what we need to replace and why?
Absolutely, Carrie. And, I am really passionate about this because we hit 50, a lot of women hit menopause at 30, 35, but typically, vast majority hit menopause in their 50s. And, by the first couple of years of going through menopause, we've lost like 50% of our collagen that's in our body. So that's why, you hit 50, all of a sudden you've got these wrinkles around your lips. And this area corresponds to the decline of the ovaries in our body. So it manifests, it's like liver congestion in the body. Women will have floaters in their vision. They'll have little black dots that they can play with, and it's little black spots in their vision. And that is showing the correlation between the eyes and the liver. And that's well known in alternative medicine. So this is our reproductive system, which is why you'll see lots of wrinkling, in this area. It's the lack of collagen and it's the decline of our reproductive system. So collagen is a type of protein that makes up all the structures of our body. It's in our bones, it's in our tissues, it's skin, tendons, cartilage. So any injury, whether it's arthritis, for example, or you've hurt yourself and you have a long-standing injury, years ago, collagen is needed for that repair. So collagen repairs our tissues. It's good for our immune system response, cellular communication. The collagen that I'm talking about right now also helps with hair growth. It will, like my eyebrows are changing. I'm not as thin right here as I was. It's stimulating hair growth. So connective tissue is fibroblast is what it is. And that is what makes the collagen in our body. So the type of collagen that I'm representing is a type 1 collagen, which is what is made up, what our bodies are made up of. Right. So if we lose 50% of our collagen stores in our body by the time we're in like year 2 of our menopause, we need to top that up.
Yeah.
So the jar is only half full. So by supplementing with a type 1 collagen, and this is a liquid as opposed to a powder,
Okay.
It's easier absorbed. It's in its more natural state. This collagen type 1 is topping up my collagen stores in my body. And then what I have in my body, my collagen supplies, my fibroblasts, make more collagen. So I'm adding what my body needs so my body can make more.
Right.
And we need collagen for everything.
Right.
It's the joint pain, it's skin hydration, it's wrinkles, eye health.
Yes. So that being said, okay, so I'd heard this probably a couple years ago, and I'm like, okay, I got to get myself some collagen. This makes sense to me. And, because I don't know a lot about it. So I went and bought, I don't know, I saw it at Winners one day when I was there, and I bought a thing of it, but I was too scared to. I haven't touched it. It's been sitting there. And I'm like, I'm not really sure I should be getting my collagen from Winners. So that was my first little flag of, okay, I think I need to do a bit more research into this because, like you said, there are so many different brands out there. There's so many people selling it now that it gets, I don't know, I get a little scared about what I'm putting in my body. So is there something that we should be looking for or that we should know of before we buy? I mean, I'm buying from you because I trust that you've done all the research and this is who I want. I want to go buy from somebody that I know and trust.
Yes.
And that's an option for sure for people.
Yes.
But if they were to just like, is there something that we should look for that you could tell us that
I think
somebody
hydrolyzed collagen is important because, collagen strands can be quite long, and the only collagen that we can absorb is on the ends. So if it's hydrolyzed, which means it's broken up into smaller chunks, so there's more ends of little pieces that you can absorb. There's collagen from chicken, and then there's collagen from marine sources. On that one, I think what's more important is type 1 collagen because that's what the body needs as its base, as well as what it can utilize and what it can produce. The other thing is there's, and I do a lot of anti-aging treatments in my clinic. And I have a beautiful topical collagen product as well. And I think, everybody and their dog has collagen products for anti-aging for your face. And I think what you want to look for there is one that, you really have to ask the question, how big are the molecules of the collagen that's in the product? Because vast majority, those particles are too large to be absorbed into the layers of the skin.
Right.
So, it looks great. It's in a beautiful bottle, but your body isn't able to absorb it.
Right.
So that would be the other thing as well.
Yeah, you're wasting a lot of money on a product that is not going to help you. I think that's where I get upset with the products that are out there, unless we are willing to do our research, which I'm not, because it doesn't interest me. I want someone to do the research for me. Yes. But that's the thing. We can spend all this money thinking that we're getting what we need for our face, but it's not absorbing it. And unless we ask the question or know what to look for, we think we're doing the right thing for our health and our anti-aging, but some of it can be a big waste of money. Well, that's how I feel with a lot of that stuff.
Yeah. And, I think there's so many companies and so many products. And I guess, that's why I'm excited about the two companies that I found is that, wow, like it really is what they say it is.
Yeah.
And, sometimes it's hard to find that, I agree with you, Carrie, really, I do. Yeah. It can be difficult.
It can. And I just think we want to feel good. We want to feel better. But again, that's something that even aside from the look, the external, it's so much about what it's doing for our internal with the joint pain, with I didn't realize that collagen had I may be very naive to this whole thing, but I'm sure there's other women out there like me that I didn't know collagen, that we lost 50% of it either. So
I was
it makes
shocked.
sense we need to replace. Yeah, it just makes so much sense to me, common sense, that we need to replace some of these things that our body is no longer producing, right? Or does it help? Like you said, it kind of, we're half full right now. We top it up, and then that allows our body to produce it easier. So that'll help our body to regenerate it as well?
Yes.
Okay.
So then the wrinkles or the lines on our face, they start to fill in from the inside outward, and they will. Then there's, the clearer complexion, the less, defined lines and those sorts of things, because our body is actually plumping it out again, which is what we need.
Oh my gosh. So this is a perfect example then, and to wrap it up, that we need to work from our inside out, because we can put on a beautiful,
beautiful balance.
But if we are not feeling good on the inside, we're not going to feel good on the outside. So
100%.
I love that, work from the inside out. There's lots of things that we can do for that. And Doreen Hill is somebody that I would trust and recommend. If you have any questions, I put her website on the show notes to look her up. And I'm sure you're open to emails, or people have questions about it. I would highly recommend them talking to you. So I need to sign off. I appreciate you so much. Just went again way too fast.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And for those who are here, we get to have a 30-minute Q&A with you, which is a total bonus. So thank you, everybody. We will see you next week. And please always know that you are more than enough as is. Thank you, Doreen. And we will see you all soon.
Bye now.